You see, the loneliest ones, mate, they're the kindest. Not cause the world's been kind to them now, but because they know what it feels like to be left behind, yeah. Saddest people, they smile the brightest. It's a bloody disguise, isn't it? A way to make sure no one sees the cracks. And the most damaged. Oh, they're the smartest ones in the room. Yeah, wisdom born from the ashes of every fire they've had to walk through. They've suffered enough to know no one else should have to feel that pain. That's why they carry it all and say nothing.
A traveler from India went to Africa, and while in the jungle, he saw thousands of beautiful, multicolored talking parrots. He decided to capture a talking parrot and take it back as his pet. At home, he kept his parrot in a cage, and generally, he treated him very well. When it was time for the man to return to Africa 2 years later, he asked his parrot if there was any message that he could deliver to the parrot's friends who were back in the jungle. Well, the parrot told his master to say that he was very happy in his cage, and that he was enjoying each day and to convey his love. Well, when the traveler arrived back in Africa, he delivered the message to the parrot back in the jungle. Just as he finished his story, a parrot with tears welling up in his eyes fell over dead. The man was alarmed, and he decided that the parrot must have been very close to the parrot in the cage, and that this was probably the reason for the sadness and for his demise. When the traveler returned to India, he told his pet what had happened. As he finished his story, the pet parrot's eyes welled up with tears, and he kneeled over dead in his cage. The man was astounded, but he figured that his pet died from the despair of hearing of the death of his close friend back in the jungle. The trader opened up the cage and tossed the dead bird outside onto the trash heap. Immediately, the pet parrot flew up to a branch on the tree outside. The trader said to him, "So you're not dead after all. Why did you do that? You tricked me." And the parrot responded, "Because that bird back in Africa sent me a very important message." "What was the message?" the trader wanted to know. "He told me that if you want to escape from your cage, you must die while you're alive."
Either survive in the jungle or exist in the zoo. Few recognize the significance.
The drama. A man with no friends or a small circle. That's a man you don't mess with. He's learned the hard way. Quality over quantity. He doesn't need a crowd to feel powerful. His strength comes from within. While others chase approval, he walks alone by choice. He's seen the fake friends, the drama, and the betrayal, and cut it all off. Now he stands in peace, untouchable. He doesn't need anyone to complete him. He's whole, all by himself. One real friend is worth more to him than 100 fake ones. His circle, tight. His trust, earned. And anyone who brings chaos, gone. His time is precious, and he spends it like a king. He knows what he wants, and he never settles. So when you meet a man with no friends or just a small circle, don't mistake it for weakness. That's strength. That's confidence. He doesn't need your approval. He's already won the only battle that matters, the one with himself.
What happened to the Arabs? Arab civilization ended up giving you zero, algebra, algorithms, astronomy as we know it. They're the guys who figured out all objects in the universe exert gravity 600 years before Newton stated it. In fact, the guy who came up with that, Ibn al-Haytham, also stated the world's first ever scientific method 600 years before any European did it. He stated Newton's first law of motion 600 years before Newton. He stated Kepler's first law of motion 500 years before Kepler. He's the guy who figured out the lens. I really like him. He's also the guy who made the world's first ever camera. Ibn Sina is the guy who founded modern medicine. He's the reason why we know to wash our hands. They're the guys who gave us the coffee industry. They've affected our language. Sugar, zero, cipher, zenith, nadir, admiral, apricot. Those are all Arabic words, algebra. And somehow we've written the Arab world out of our history.
Are you staying silent too? Most people are killed, but far away from you. People keep dying and we all just live our lives, but a child loses all in the land of Palestine. Are you?
I can tell you this. I can tell you this. This is America. You can fucking have whoever you want on your podcast. You can do whatever the you want to do. Imagine a sponsor that's sponsoring you, calling you and telling you that you can't have this guy. Imagine, and this happened to me too. This happened to me. I posted a video for Trump, right, on my personal social media. And one of our big sponsors called and said, take that down. You know what I said? Go fuck yourself. You vote for whoever you want to vote for, and I'll vote for whoever I want to vote for. That's how this works. I don't even care who you're voting for. It's none of my fucking business. Well, fuck you. Yeah. Don't ever fucking call me and tell me who to vote for.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
I have a $50 bill and I give it to the barber for my haircut, and then he goes and buys groceries with it from the grocer, and the grocer goes and gets his car washed. The $50 goes from place to place, and after 20 or 30 transactions, the $50 bill belongs to somebody and it's worth $50. Whereas if I pay by card, 1.5% goes to the bank. And then if he takes the money I've given him and pays for the groceries, 1.5% goes to the bank. And after the groceries have been paid for, when he goes to get his car washed, 1.5% goes to the bank. So after 20 or 30 transactions, the $50 is gone, the bank has it all. I think that's why they're so desperate to get rid of cash. It's interesting.
The basics of economics, right? When you kind of see the cycle. And he's not even talking about taxes. He's just talking about it going and, transferring from person to person to person. Think about adding taxes on the taxes I paid, and then I give you the money, you pay taxes on that, and then that tax cycle keeps going. It's a very interesting slippery slope of eventually sitting there and saying, what the hell happens to the money?
If you got 99% of your money, you'd still be a multi-billionaire.
No. And
you have $138 billion, and I can do math.
Right. If you get rid of 99%, I'd have 1.3 billion.
I'm so sorry.
That run the show. DC, Washington, it's just a square mile, a couple of square miles. City of London, where the Temple Bar is. The Temple Bar is in there. That is the only piece of land in the world that is over and above the Vatican. Remember that? That's in the City of London. It has to be, because this is the inner temple. This is the New Jerusalem. That's why they sing the song about New Jerusalem, the most popular song in the British Commonwealth, isn't it? Because they created the New Jerusalem. They were given the New Jerusalem. There it is, in the City of London. The middle temple, the inner temple, and that's the outer temple, based on that system that the Templars brought back from Jerusalem. It's a system of slavery, because the ones who are in the outer temple, they are the Gentiles, or the Goyim, or the scum of the earth. They're the ones that get taught exoteric religion. For instance, that Jesus Christ is pure history. When they were teaching Jesus Christ 2,000 years, 3,000, 4,000, who knows how many thousand years in India as Krishna, his name was Yes Krishna, they made it up. The Romans did that, the Julian family did that, and the Piso family. This is one of the richest of these families. They invented the whole historical thing and put it into the Bible so that it would appear to be history, so that they could keep people in the outer temple and then enslave them. This is the New Jerusalem, guys.
When you say what are the aliens, what do you mean?
Where are the aliens? Like, why don't we see them? A lot of people think we see aliens, but I've not seen any evidence of aliens. We've got 6,000 satellites in orbit, and not once have we had to maneuver around an alien spacecraft.
Right. But on this Earth, the U.S. military's had to do a lot of maneuvering around objects they can't explain.
There's always a bunch of classified programs that are underway of new aircraft and new missiles and things. So that are classified even within the military. So it's only if you have the top secret compartmented clearance would you know about this new program. So then some pilot sees something fast, moving fast, and says, "Hey, I saw a UFO." I'm like, "Yeah, that was actually a new weapons program, but we can't tell you that." The split second I see any evidence of aliens, I will immediately post that on the X platform, and it'll probably be our #1 post of all time.
That'll be your biggest day,
yes,
for sure.
May I share with you some words of wisdom that were found on the wall of an orphanage in Calcutta, India. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and your God anyway.
Secret ingredient is... It's nothing! Nothing. You heard me. Nothing. There is no secret ingredient.
There is no secret ingredient. It's just you.
To make something special, you just have to believe it's special.
There is no secret ingredient.
How did you find peace? I took away your parents. Everything. I scarred you for life.
See, that's the thing, Shen. Scars heal.
No, they don't. Wounds heal.
Oh yeah, what do scars do? They fade, I guess?
I don't care what scars do.
You should, Shen. You gotta let go of that stuff from the past, because it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you choose to be now.
Your story may not have such a happy beginning, but that doesn't make you who you are. It is the rest of your story, who you choose to be.